Well, good morning, you guys. Oh, I slept in just a little. It's about 9:30. Wow. Oh, I was watering plants. Hey, you guys. I wanted to, real quick before I get back into my teachings and then go back to work or go to work. It's early in the morning here. And I'm like, I got to sleep on things. I do feel better getting to vent. I don't ever want to see this girl. And this is a small town. It's a little hot. I'm going to run into that bitch sometime. Oh, we said we weren't going to talk about it. Well, anyways, when it comes down to our Bible, down on the Bible, when we've been taking this Bible apart for some time now, and it's revealed many, 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 many secrets to us. And one of those is that God He doesn't dwell with us, and that religion winds up being the works. And he makes it out to be that if you're following religion, if you're following the word, that you are actually sinning. This is so that he gets an upper hand on us. God says, I know you're bad. I made you, and God, being a part of both the devil and this beautiful substance, this beautiful thing, is the two that we're talking about. The skin and its belief system. And that's how the story's running here, is that, you either have God in you and things are working great, or you don't have him in you and you're going around sinning. Sinning because you're not connected to God. That's the only thing, He wants you to go around doing your own thing for a good long time. And even though it sounds like you're sinning, you're actually doing part of the works. You're supposed to do that. You're supposed to do it. I don't talk about that part. Now that you go over onto the other side, this is not your worship anymore, because now you're connected to her. We're talking about her. That's what we're talking about when it comes down to this latest book that we're reading in. Proverbs is introducing us to this woman. And of course, what we're learning is that there is a substitute woman that's called the whore. So this is someone who replaces. This is the person that you're following while you're working with religion. This is this strange woman. Can't be any different than that. And she represents the opposite side of religion. She makes you out to be an anti-Christ. That's how you are, the Antichrist. You are this devil. And when you're not connected to God, that's all you are, is this little horned devil. Because when you get onto the other side and you get introduced to the mother of us all, she breaks those horns. You no longer have the lower side to you anymore. Everything is brought level and everything is brought even. This is the whole point of the Bible. It's to make better people out of us. Teach us how to mine for gold. And that's not going out with your hands digging in the dirt. It's going with your mind and digging in your brain, digging in the lower mind. Dig that well. We got to get to the fresh water. And everything will be just fine. I wanted to make that clear, that our Bibles is where the sin comes from. That's where the teachings come from. This is where the class is. And we're running around with one of the best teachers on earth. Father, that's you. Learning it all by yourself, or being told what to do, being, led around. But, this is putting your control and stuff like that in other people's hands. And what God tells you is that if you can bring us both together, if you can honor both mother and father, I'll bring you these things. I will take care of you. I will dwell with you. Until then, he doesn't dwell with you. Not he, I would say they don't dwell with you. Only Father dwells with you. It's really kind of tough. But God is a two-part system of The lower mind and the higher mind, the skin and and our belief system coupled together as one. When you're just running around with father, there is no mother. You're just with father, and you become this devil. That's all it works. That's how it works. No dogma involved. You can think of all the crazy stories as you wish, but it's just some crazy shit. That's our childish mind. You're reading the book. You want to see, oh, I want it to come alive. I want it to be alive. Well, listen, what did we read yesterday? Let me minus you down here. It says, my son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother, for they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head. They're saying this is mother and father is going to be an ornament of grace to your head. It says, but if you want to go with these others, if you want, he's saying, don't go with them, don't walk with them. If you walk with them, oh man, surely you'll die. Surely that's the way it's going to be. My son, hear the instruction of thy father. All right. His instruction is to learn about mother. All right. And of course, has anybody even heard of that? What is that about the mom? A wise man will hear an increase in learning. A man of understanding will attain unto the wise counsels. The wise counsel is that, a person of understanding, if it's in your heart, is going to be taking this trip. If this is his counsel, is that his counsel is connected. Those are like the 4 and 20 elders. This is the stars that fall from the sky to the earth. This is another situation where instead of being disconnected from heaven, we're right in on it. Bam, right in it. Bing, boing. All right. She wants to know how long you want to be simple. Why do you want to keep going through this way? And in the blot is this idea of spreading the net and catching people. It's the idea they're catching the bird. Now, when I him and hawed over that, but this idea of snatching the girl from you, snatching the female from you. This is all of these stories. This happens more in the fairy tale stories where, like with where a stepmother comes in after someone's wife has died or been killed or in some way, passed away, and then the stepmom comes in. This is the outsider. This is the stranger in us again. So we'll find that these stories continue on. It says here that this woman, her voice, she cries without. That means from the outside, she cries. She uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief places and concourses, in the openings of the gates. This is 21, represents a 3. In the city, she uttereth her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will you love simplicity? And the scorners delight in the scorning, and fools hate knowledge. So these are wonderful little stories, but you're going to have to understand that they're talking about the human mind. They're talking about our lower mind not wanting to change. All right. It's nothing all that crazy. Now, let's go on to Proverbs 2. Proverbs 2 is going to represent God's creation. My son, if thou wilt receive my words and hide my commandments with thee, so that thou incline thine ear unto wisdom, and apply thine heart to understanding. Yea, if thou criest after knowledge, lift up thy voice for understanding, and thou seekest her, if thou seekest her as silver, and searchest her as for hidden treasures. This is the counsel, the wise counsel. Then thou then shalt you understand the fear of the Lord, and find the knowledge of God. For the Lord giveth wisdom. Out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding. It's number 6. So you will see that this the fear of God, which is walking around on tromping on what you see. This is where you learn the fear of God. You have to do it. All right. So it's not like the Bible is so evil. He's the teacher. You're going to follow after this. You're going to follow after the word. You're going to do what you see, and you're going to sin up a storm because you're not connected to God. He layeth up sound wisdom for the righteous. And righteous, that word righteous means someone who's in their right mind. That's all it means. Yeah, you can say, you like to say, oh, he sounds so righteous. Well, you know, you can hear a bunch of idiots out there talking, thinking they got everything going on. I knew nothing of this before. All I knew was, oh, you know, I knew of the stories. That's all we know. That's all we know. And then all of a sudden, after I gain some knowledge about this and start practicing what God asked us to do, to receive his words and to put those commandments in thee. That's the idea. I'm going to retry this. I have worked on the outside of this Bible for a long time, and I start questioning it ain't working. It isn't working. So I don't go and pray to God to open up my understandings. I guess what I did is I went in and through the inside, connected to the God, connected to the source. And now I got all of this other information in me. I didn't have all this other crap in me before. Hell no. I was just as empty as a can, you know? Okay. He keepeth his paths of his judgments and preserveth the way of his saints. Remember in other stories that when you give up God, the people have control over the world has control over the saints and all this business. When wisdom entereth into thine heart, and knowledge is pleasant unto the soul. Your soul is the one that's drinking this well from this well, and everything is beautiful now. He's got connection to God. He knows what God is. He even knows about himself. He knows how he works. He knows how God works. And now you can talk about it. Here's number 12. To deliver thee from the way of the evil man, from the man that speaketh forward things, who leave the paths of the uprightness, to walk in the ways of darkness. So here again, when you follow the word which kills, you follow the letter, you left the path of uprightness because you're only working with one mind now. You're working with the devil's side, the lower mind. You are still uncircumcised, which means you haven't cut yourself off from the lower, all right? Who rejoices to do evil and delight in the forwardness of the wicked, whose ways are crooked, and they forward in their and they froward, froward in their paths. I guess that means that you do this. You know, you're not making straight. I think the idea is that you're just going crazy. Maybe forward, although I'm not so sure if I'm froward, froward. So let's look up that word. Let's see what the hell that is. To me, it sounds like something about you're moving forward, perhaps. Maybe you're not. I think it's maybe, let's see what it says. Let's see what it is. Paste. Meaning. Froward. What in the hell is that word? All right. Well, I got the slowest computer. A person difficult to deal with and contrary. All right. Now, oh, yeah. Oh, I could be called that. I'm difficult to deal with. And what I'm telling you about is almost contrary to what people would actually think the Bible's about. You think that that's a holy book. Well, it is. It is a holy book. It teaches you, but only after bunches of, you know, trials. All right. Because once you start following the Bible, it takes you on these trips where you're treating women terribly, you're treating strangers terribly. It's now an ownership of God, and nobody else is allowed in it, and all these things. All of this, that's that idea of ownership of God and stuff like that. That's vanity. All right, trying to also, to have something on earth that is of some kind of importance, inheritance that you could give to someone else, that's also vanity, all right? Because don't build up your treasures on earth. You can't take anything with you. So, this is another situation where they're talking about, your desires taking over. That bottomless pit is taking over. You just can't fill it up fast enough. Here's number 16. To deliver thee from the strange woman, even from the stranger, which flattereth her with her words, which forsaketh the guide of her youth, and forgetteth the covenant of her God. For her house inclineth unto death, and her paths unto the dead. And how many of these stories have we spoke about that says that if you're going to drink from her glass, the fornication, you're dead, None that go unto her return again, neither take they hold of their paths of life. So you're scattered. That thou mayest walk in the way of good men, and keep the paths of the righteous. For the upright shall dwell in the land, and the perfect shall remain in it. This is that idea of this is your inheritance. You got both sides going. There's no land outside of us that could take care of any of us. No. It's the idea that now you've got the whole place is you and yours. You're in control now. I don't see how anyone can understand that. But the wicked shall be cut off from earth, and the transgressors shall be rooted out of it. All right? That's number 2. So here we are talking about God's creation and his word at the same time. He's trying to introduce us to a woman, a mother, a woman who is going to teach us how to stand, how to be righteous, how to gain wisdom. And it's also going to cut us off from the strange woman. This is in chapter 2. We've got to get rid of the bitch. I say that all the time. Get the whore off your back. If you can understand that, you'd understand that the back is your backbone is representing the spiritual side of us, which is a female energy. So when we conjure up religion and this whore of Babylon, she rides on our back, on the outside of our back. She is an outside creation that extends from the lower mind, which makes her a male energy. She's this whore. And when you have this whore on your back, that means that you might as well be the Pope, Might as well any of these religious people. And don't think that, I think he's only talking about, the Catholics. Are you kidding me? He's talking about every religion on earth. Well, that's not code backed. Everyone following their religion by the letter are sinners. Those are your biblical queers, because that's their male side of their conscience going to another male conscious. It's supposed to represent our feminine side, our female side, not our feminine side, our spiritual side. But she's the whore. She's the one that leads you down the wrong path. The service center. I think that's pretty damn cool. All right, let's go on to 3. 3 is going to be the intervention. Let's see what it talks about. And then we'll stop at this. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For the length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Remember, you live forever once you finally make it. All right? It's not living forever. If you don't do this, then you're dead forever. All right? You're dead forever and ever and ever. It takes a long, long time to get over to this other side. But when you do, then you're alive and you will live forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. So it looks like we still get forever, whichever side our minds work on, because the word does not die. Something passes away, but my word shall never die. What that means is the soul is not going to die. It's the body parts that house it. It's that first beast of the body that goes and it just dies. It gives up the ghost. And when you give up the ghost and you haven't made this connection yet, when you are brought up to heaven, you're being brought up by your, in our stories, it says an uncle comes, takes you up there, and you're asked, he said, well, did you bring anybody with you? No, I didn't make it. All right, well, go on back down. Let's try it again. Let's try it again. All right. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Do not let this pass you by. Bind them about the neck. Write them upon the table. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man. This is God and man. So you're looking at God, the spiritual side, and man. This would be God, mother and father, and the child, or man. All right? There's your 3. That's what we want. And all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. This is your counsel. Be not wise in thy own eyes. Fear the Lord, and depart from evil. Okay. I hear so many people that come up to me and start writing me about, this is the Bible story, and then they're just, give me some scripture. What the hell do I not know about the scripture? Huh? If I've never read it before, now we can read it and find out what it means. The knowledge is not by just reading what you see. You have to understand it and know it. And this is what it means by, keep my commandments. I will open up your eyes. And do not be wise on their own eyes. I would not, like I said, know nothing about what I tell you and teach you today had I not followed the instruction, caught up with the Lord, and now I can teach you and bring you out of your miseries. If it was possible, open your eyes, dude. Take the blind away from you. Wake you up, bring you from the dead. All right, here we go. That's in your own wise. Depart from evil. Depart. That's that idea. Let's take away. And that departing actually gets rid of the division. No more divided house amongst you. Now let's see what happens. It shall be health to thy navel. All right. So health to thy navel. Now I'm going to tell you this here. That's your solar plexus, and marrow to the bone. Health to the church. The third chakra is the solar plexus. It's our stomach chakra. This is where you're going to get health because you got good food going on now. Well, right now, if you don't, if you do not change your ways, if you cannot change your mind, then this belongs to the devil. This is the seat of Satan. And so this is the place that we get cleaned out. Remember, I told you about Baphomet. He has this. He has his Kundalini. It only goes to the third chakra. That's as far as it goes. That little penis that's sticking up out of his crotch area there is a Kundalini. Except the lower side's Kundalini doesn't go further than 3, because if it went further than 3, then the devil in you goes to sleep and disappears. This is the whole idea behind it. So I was talking yesterday about this. So here it is. It says, it shall be health to the body, and it'll be marrow for the bones. Marrow is to fill the inside of the bones. The bone represents the spiritual side of us. And it'll no longer be empty. That's the whole idea. Honor the Lord with thy substance and with the first fruits of all thine increase. This is nice, talking about your firstborn. All right. That the lower mind gives birth to a child through meditation. And this is what starts the change. So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst out with new wine. It says, I'm going to pour out my spirit in you. I'm going to pour out my spirit on you. Copious amounts of spirit is going to be poured out on you. So your barns will be filled with plenty, and you shall burst with new wine. My son, despise not the chastising of the Lord. The chastening. Oh, here we go. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. When people look at the last days and rapture as being a very, very negative thing, like this is going to kill the earth, they're going to come down, he's going to destroy the earth, he's going to come down and cause all this havoc and all this business. This is that idea that you're making something bad. When God corrects us and makes us whole again, that's a beautiful thing. You don't want to fear the end of days. You want that end of day. You cannot wait till that time. That's the end of day. What a beautiful day the day of the Lord is. For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delighteth. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof fine gold. She is more precious than rubies, and all the things that canst desire are not to be compared unto her. Length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor. So number 16 represents 7. So we have length of days to our body, to ourselves. I think maybe to our minds or to the soul. But if you want to live longer, if you want to have a better life, you like to have these two things connected together, because then you will live life happier. You will have more abundance in your life. That's the whole idea of connecting the two sides together. Otherwise, one just leads you right off the cliff. All right? So they're talking about once you hook up, you have the length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand, riches and honor. So the riches and honors is going to be, if this is a right hand riches a reference, the right hand is generally, let's see, wait a minute. Length of days are in her right hand. That's the, when you go under, because your power is always in your right hand. And in her left hand, riches and honor. So this is after you make this connection, everything works out really beautiful, because the left hand, it generally belongs to Satan. But once you're connected, no part of you is Satan anymore. There is no lower mind anymore. There is no more of cutting off. You only go through circumcision once in your life. All right? Her ways are of pleasantness, and all her paths are peace. She is the tree of life, to whom they that hold upon her, and happy is everyone that retaineth her. She is the tree of life. The Kundalini, all of those places there are representing a place where we can come for food, where we can come for shelter, where we can come for knowledge. The Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth. By understanding has he established the heaven. By his knowledge and depths are broken up, and the clouds drop down the dew. My son, let not them depart from thine eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion. So shall they be life, so shall they be life unto thy soul, and grace to thy neck. Then shall you walk in the way safely, and thy foot shall not stumble. When thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid. Yea, they shall lie down, and they shall sleep. Well, and sleep shall be sweet. Be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh. For the Lord shall be in thy confidences. This is this idea that this is when he's coming, because 3 is about this combination. Don't be afraid of me. Don't be afraid of the wrath. Don't be afraid it's going to be bad for you. Don't be afraid. And what does religion say? Don't go there. What does the Pope say? It is dangerous for anyone to have a personal contact with the God. It is dangerous, and you've got to come through the church. You have to come through the church. Well, you go ahead and you listen to that bastard. You listen to that bastard. You follow that whore bitch. All you care about. I've done all that. I already been there, done that. It's over with. Withhold not good from them to whom it is due, when the power of thine hand to do it. It's all in the power of the hand. Say not unto your neighbor, go and come again, and morrow I will give, and thou hast it by thee. Devise not evil against thy neighbor, seeing he dwelleth securely by thee. Strive not with man, but without cause. Strive not with a man without cause, if he have done thee no harm. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. For the froward is abomination to the Lord. For the froward is abomination to the Lord, but his secret is with the righteous. The curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked, but he blesseth the habitation of the just. Surely he scorneth the scorners, but he giveth grace to the lowly. The wise shall inherit glory, but shame shall be the promotion of fools. So this is right and left. You're either connected to God, you got a great thing going on. But if you think you're connected to God and you're running around with the religion and you keep slapping me with all these different things about the word side of this, you're just one devil of your own, all right? And you're not going to teach me shit, all right? You should just button up and listen to me, all right? Well, it's just because I'm a teacher, and that, aside from not being all that great, I'm learning. I'm getting there. things are becoming easier for me to talk about and teach you about. And as we learn more and more about it, and here there's plenty more chapters in this Proverbs. But I'm going to quit here and go back to where I'm going to get this started uploading. Proverbs, introduction to mother, introduction to the way, how to keep God's commandments. And it's not like, oh, don't be a good boy and go pay your tithes, keep up with your tithes. You hear any of that crap in there? Nothing of that at all. But we'll find out maybe when it comes down to 5, when it talks about the body, when it talks about what's the physical side going to do. Well, they may talk about it. I haven't read on it ahead of time, but they might talk about their tithes. That tithes where you're giving yourself, you're giving 10% of yourself. You'll find that that's the right side of our left side of our brain being tithed over to God, so that it now belongs to Him, and then it's connected like that. But how many times have you taken money out of your pocket and given it to a preacher or to a church? You didn't get any change out of that, other than you gave to. You're supporting hell. You're supporting the what do you call it? The what do we call that? When people go to church and they go, oh, the synagogue of Satan. That's what that is. And there's every church on earth is a synagogue of Satan. Every church on earth is a synagogue of Satan. It's a place where the bitch can rule over the lower mind. Right there, And then in all of these places, they have this seed in there for you to learn. Oh, that's what we're supposed to do. Well, shit fire, you guys. If everybody knew this inside thing, if everybody knew this, what we're talking about, if everyone followed the law, there's one language. There is one language, It's not confounded. We're all talking about the same thing. Anyways, I thought I'd say hello to you. Good morning. I love you. I really do. And why aren't we the coolest place, the coolest channel? Because God made it that way. He's hiding us, He wants us to keep His commandments on His inside. Don't talk about it. Well, I understand that as a teacher, once you get over on this other side, I can't shut my mouth up. I just can't. All right? Whether I have listeners or not, I'm trying to help people out. I'll check you soon, and I do love you. See you.